Change your story. Changing your story is the absolute most important thing that you need to do when you are creating a new life. If you don't change your story, the affirmations, the ask-formations, the tools, the techniques, and the tips will not work. And I guarantee you, if you do not change your story, it's not going to work. The most important thing you need to do when you are recreating your life is to change your story. That missing key is things that a lot of people are not going to teach you. Because if I actually taught you how to change your story and you are one of the blessed people in the world who actually grasps it just like that, you don't need me. So I'm out here telling people how to change their story, and it's upsetting because you guys are actually having success. It doesn't matter if you manifest with saying the word thank you, scripting. It doesn't matter if you manifest with why questions, how questions. It doesn't matter if you just repeat a phrase. If you do the 5x5 method or the 70x7 method. If you don't change that number one thing, your story, nothing works. This is Susie, your beautiful millionaire swan queen. Welcome back to the garden, my beautiful ducklings. Subscribe, smash the like button, share my videos. I would truly appreciate it. I am a life coach and I have a paid Facebook group. So if you're interested in working with me to drastically change your life for the better, check out my website in the description below. Changing your story is not complicated. When I get a new coaching client, they always send me this big long email or text message, and it starts with, "I'm sorry this is so long," or it ends with, "I'm sorry this is so long." Or again, "I'm sorry this is so long," because they started it and ended it the same way. That isn't your story. That is a bunch of mini stories. That is not one thing that happened in your life. That can be 1,000 things that happen in your life. And everybody has this new theory that they're going to change their story to, "My specific person is obsessed with me." It's actually a story. It's a story. And I don't approve of that story because obsessed. I was on coaching calls last night till 11:30 p.m. my time. Monday, I was as sick as a dog and I didn't do anything. My daughter rescheduled all my calls. My people were absolutely amazing. I have to reschedule a call this morning, and then I know I have stuff to do this afternoon, and then I have to jump on coaching calls again. Tomorrow, I'm on calls from 10:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. Friday, I'm supposed to be off, but because I was sick, I'm making up for the rescheduling that I have to do. Well, here's the thing. If my specific person is obsessed with me, my day off that I'm supposed to spend with him is now being spent with clients. He's going to be livid. He's not going to be happy. You really think Jared's going to be happy that my day off now gets to be, he gets ignored? And he has to be quiet, and he has to not be able to do anything in the house because I'm on calls with clients and he needs to be respectable. Well, if he's obsessed, he's not going to be happy. And then Saturday and Sunday, I have things that I need to do. So as soon as I get my video done, I'm out of here. Monday, it's back to calls again. When do I have time for my specific person in that story? I have a very busy coaching schedule. I have a very busy life. And I hate that word busy as much as I hate the word obsessed. But I'm walking around because, he's ghosted me. He's hot and cold. He's not answering my phone calls or text messages. And then, he's not showing up in the way I need. And he's being a dick. And he's not respecting me. And he doesn't appreciate me. And I keep telling this to everybody I talk to. but he's a dick. He doesn't respect me. He's hot and cold. He is not texting me. He's not calling me. He's not showing up for me in the way I need him to. He's upset with me because I screwed up my schedule this week and I don't get to spend time with him. We're at 7 stories. That's not one story. That's 7. 7 stories that you are telling about this person that you are supposed to be head over heels in love with. And because you are telling this story 7 different times, you are anchoring that the relationship sucks. You are anchoring that it's not working out to your advantage. You're anchoring separation, no contact, ghosting. That's 7. Now we have 10 different stories that we're telling about our specific person. Think about this. You went out to dinner and you went to Olive Garden, because I have an Olive Garden a couple blocks from me, and even though I don't consider it Italian food, he does. And he knows I don't consider it Italian food. We have a Johnny Carino's. It's a little bit better, but it's still not what I grew up with in an Italian household. It was, it's just cookie cutter meals to me. It's not the true fresh, grated cheese, all that amazing stuff that I grew up with my grandmother. So we go to Olive Garden, and we go every Friday night. We go in there at 5 o'clock before it gets really busy because it's both of our days off. We sit down at the table. We have a conversation about our week and how it was going and what we are going to do this weekend and what next week is going to bring. We talk about football because football's on Saturday. We talk about it's my birthday next Friday because it's this Friday. So now we're talking about my birthday's next Friday and what we're going to do about my birthday. Well, we had a really nice evening. Now it's my birthday Friday. We go to Olive Garden again, because that's what we do every Friday. We're in Olive Garden, and we're talking about our week. We're talking about how things are going for us, what we're going to do this weekend. Again, what's going to be happening next week. Well, I have a few coaching clients that are with me every week. I have a lot of new coaching clients. I have some clients that I haven't talked to, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. So my conversation is going to change. What happened with his job? It's not going to be the exact same thing every day. So even though we're technically on the surface discussing the same thing, we're not really. It's changing. It's just like my coffee cup. Today we have the coffee break cup. It's actually pretty yummy this morning. And this morning we have Italian sweet cream in it. Yesterday morning we tried peppermint mocha. The coffee story changed. So what I want you to understand is that each thing that you're saying is a true memory. It is legit a very true memory. So I've gone to the same restaurant for 6 months. 6 times 4 is 24 dinners that I had at Olive Garden with the love of my life every Friday night. I can't do it this Friday night because I have calls. But he's obsessed with me, and I just broke our streak. So week 25, I have to change the story and be, he's understanding. He gets that sometimes my job is not 9 to 5 and that I have to rearrange my schedule and work on my day off. But he understands it. So instead of that 25th week where I'm blowing off dinner, I'm using dinner as he understands and he's okay with it. So instead, he goes out with the guys and he allows me to have privacy so I can talk to my clients. He comes home and he brings pizza and a Redbox movie. We still get to have an amazing Friday night. I got everything I needed to have done. My Friday was amazing. That's what happens in a real relationship. That is me taking something that an obsessed person would be upset about and saying, this works out to my advantage because I got pizza in a Redbox. I don't know what Redbox we're watching, but I got pizza in a Redbox. But if it works out to my advantage, I guarantee you it's not a chick flick. It's going to be some action comedy. Because that's what we both like. Now, go back to those 10 stories. He's ghosting me. Ghosting is the same thing as saying radio silence. He ghosted me. Well, when people started telling me my guy is ghosting me, I thought they died. Like, I'm serious. I thought, well, what do you mean he's ghosting you? Well, I haven't talked to him in 48 hours. Why not? He ghosted me. I don't understand. I mean, legit, I'm trying to not say, did this person die? Because I'm thinking a ghost, Halloween's coming, ghosts. And I'm like, why are you ghosting? So they had to explain to me this new term, ghosting. I used to put my guy in radio silence. And I would say it all the time. Oh, we're not really talking. I'm a cop's daughter. When you're not talking and it goes dead air, it's kind of scary sometimes. The story you're telling is he's ghosting me. So you have to change ghosting to something else. So the runaround is to say 1,008 times, he's obsessed with me. Well, again, I don't want him obsessed with me. So you would have to change ghosting to some form of amazing communication. And if you have amazing communication, you wouldn't be talking about ghosting. He's constantly texting and calling me every day. He's always checking up on me. That's 2 stories. Constantly texting me and calling me every day. He's constantly checking up on me. He's always reaching out to make sure I'm doing good. There's 3. But ghosting is only 1. Radio silence is 2. But I just changed those to 3. And if I break it down even further, we have great communication. He's always texting me. He's always calling me. He's constantly checking up on me. I'm the number 1 person in his life. He's always thinking about me. He's always showing up for me in the most amazing ways. Most unexpected ways he's showing up for me. Now I'm at, 8 stories? But these mini stories are empowering because it's saying, one general, why do we have amazing communication? And y'all are going to go, wait a second, Susie, I have no contact. I have no communication. He's ghosting me. Those are the 3 dominant stories you are telling. Ghosting, no contact, and no communication. If we add blocked, that one I love, I'm blocked. That's because you feel blocked, because you don't think this is working. So now we've taken the things that you want, and instead of making him obsessed, we have the perfect relationship. We have an amazing relationship. We have an incredible relationship. We have a fantastic relationship. I will legit ask my friends and my family members and anybody I date, why do you think we have the perfect relationship? Sometimes I don't like the answers. We may not like the answers. If you're dating a guy and he says you have the perfect relationship because you have a great sex life, now you titled it friends with benefits. He just said sex was great. He didn't say you were friends with benefit. He actually just said you have the perfect relationship because sex is great. You turned it into friends with benefits. So that just became your new story. We're friends with benefits. These little things that we're saying, and I tell you all the time, your 30-second story, we have an amazing relationship. We get along absolutely positively well. We have the perfect relationship. We are happily married. Now we're going to get to the happily married in this story. The ultimate question is, why am I happily married to Jared? That should be the ultimate question. For people who have never been in a relationship or lived with a person, they don't know what happily married would be, especially if they're telling all of these mini stories about being ghosted, being blocked, hot and cold, lack of communication. They need to be obsessed with them. They don't know what a real relationship is. I mean, honestly, if you've never lived with a person outside of your family members, you don't know what it's like to live with somebody. So I've lived with my ex-husband and my kids. I've lived with my parents. I know what it's like to live with somebody as a couple. But if you've never done that, you don't know what it's like to fight over the shower. You don't know what it's like to discuss who's making coffee because I'm getting the shower. You don't know what it's like to fight over the single sink. I have 2 bathrooms, but each bathroom only has 1 sink in it. So you don't know these little things. You don't know what it's like to have a adult extracurricular activity. Are you doing it every night? Are you doing it 2 or 3 times a week? The first couple of months, you are in the honeymoon phase. So you may be doing it a lot, but after 3 months, going into the 3 to 6 month phase, you don't want to do it every day. So you might drop down to once or twice a week. But you don't know that because you've never lived with that person. So you have nothing to base your story on. You've been in a relationship, and the relationship was toxic. It was disrespectful. You were not appreciated. You did not feel loved or respected. Now you want to get with somebody else, but your idea of a relationship is, my ex cheated on me. My ex disrespected me. My ex was controlling. All the people that I date in my life have been assholes. How do you take those 2 situations and ask the question, why am I happily married? You need proof. You need to see that it is physically true. So if you don't know what it's like to be happily married, think about relationships in different cultures. In the Middle East, they do a lot of arranged marriages. In the Oriental countries, you get to pick your spouse, but it's not the husband and wife that are the dominant focus in a relationship. It is the family structure. Bringing home the bacon and making sure the children have what they need, and the wife becomes the go-to for everything. Clean the house, cook the meals, raise the children. And the guy just kind of exists in the relationship and does kind of his own thing. Those aren't bad things. But if that's all you've seen, then you don't want that type of relationship. You know what you don't want, but again, you don't know how to describe what you do want. So that's why I say, why am I happy in this fully committed relationship? Because you do know what a fully committed relationship is. The mini stories to a fully committed relationship. Great communication, respect, appreciation. They're present, they're aware, they are being a gentleman, they are being a lady, they are doing nice things for each other, they are surprising each other in unique ways, they are taking care of the household chores as a team, not one person is doing it. Financially, if one person is making more than the other, how are we balancing the bills that get paid? So I make great money, make amazing money. And because I make amazing money, if I'm with a guy who makes half of what I make, how do you balance those bills? Or the opposite. My guy makes double what I make, but he expects me to put in the equal portion of what he makes. Well, now his house is, say, $5,000 a month on a mortgage. And that may wipe out my bank account every month to have to pay $10,000 a month in bills. That means now I can't get my hair done or my nails done. So these mini stories are what you're really telling all day long. And they are true statements that you have seen in your life. So when you are creating the happy ever after, the generic terms, we have an amazing relationship. Why do we have an amazing relationship? We have the perfect relationship. Why do we have the perfect relationship? Why am I in a fully committed relationship with Jared? Why do Jared and I have the perfect relationship? Why is Jared spoiling me? Why is Jared blessing me? Why is Jared adding value to this relationship? Why is Jared cherishing me? Why is he enriching my life? Those questions help you to change your story to happily married. But when you are walking around and you are affirming all those little stories of no contact, ghosting, disrespect, not showing up for you, and then you are saying the phrase, I have the perfect relationship with Jared. I have the perfect relationship with Jared. Instead of Jared's obsessed with me, Jared and I have the perfect relationship. Jared and I have the perfect relationship. Well, you're being ghosted. You're being disrespected. But you're calling it the perfect relationship. And now you're saying, I'm the only woman for him. And all of a sudden a third party comes in. Because your perfect relationship is actually describing that story of ghosting, hot and cold, disrespect, not being there for you. And only is bringing in somebody else. So when you change your story, you have to ask different questions. What do you truly desire this relationship to be? So you need to make a list. And in that list, he's supportive. He's emotionally there for you. He is faithful. He is a problem solver. He listens to you vent and then he fixes the problem. I now have 6 new stories that I'm telling about him. So when I say, Jared listens to my problems and he fixes them and it's really amazing, I'm praising the relationship. And I've created a mini new story. When you are focusing on the things that you don't like in the relationship and you are saying, I can't talk about the backstory. That's your dominant thought. All of this backstory. So then we go to the balcony scene in Paris. And this is why I don't like the balcony scene in Paris. It doesn't cover respect. It doesn't cover appreciated. It doesn't cover showing up for you. It doesn't cover the hot and cold stopping, the ghosting stopping. It doesn't cover that you have an absolutely amazing relationship. It is one scene in a 50-year lifespan. So you have one scene you are basing your relationship on, and you think this amazing balcony scene is your story. It's not. Listen to all the gurus. When you are bouncing from YouTube video to YouTube video, to group to Instagram to somebody else's Instagram, when you're on Twitter and even Pinterest, the things they are saying all the time. In the Neville Goddard groups, there is a guy, and he says all the time, I imagine a scene, and I do it once, and I get it. His mini story is constantly repeating, I imagined the scene once, and I got it. That's why it's working, because his mini story is, I imagined the scene, and I got it. But you guys, leave me a comment and tell me exactly what scene you should imagine for a 50-year marriage. Because in 50 years, that's 365 days times 50. I don't feel good, so I can't do the math. So somebody else do the math and leave a comment of how many days that is. You have breakfast together. You may have lunch together. You may have dinner together. You might go to bed together every night for 50 years. You might have a stretch in that 50-year period where one of you is working overnights, and for 2 years you are on opposite shifts and you're sleeping alone at night and they're sleeping alone during the day. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of scenes in 50 years of your lifetime. But when you say, why am I happily married? Which is the ultimate question to Jared, it encompasses 50 years. It gives you the presence and the future that life is amazing being with this person. What it doesn't do is give you a single balcony scene. So when you are creating stories, the writer, and I have a number of clients who are a writer, and writers always try to write the perfect story. I'm writing a book, and I am doing it on relationships. And I am trying to write the perfect book because there's so much knowledge that I have to share that I'm afraid I'm going to miss something, instead of just getting it down on paper and then editing it. So go back to the beginning when I talked about the earthquakes, the fires, the tornadoes, and the hurricanes. They create chaos. They destroy an entire house, and it needs to be rebuilt from the foundation up. So we had a tornado come through my town in 2011. We have one of the top Walmarts in their system. It was destroyed. Walmart had to tear down the building, tear up the concrete floor, and rebuild a new building. That's what you guys are thinking you have to do. But that's not what you actually have to do. You're not rebuilding from scratch. You already have the bedroom set. You have the dresser. You have the bed. You have the chair in your bedroom. You have your closet set up. You're taking out clothes you no longer wear and disposing of them. You're buying new clothes and putting in there. You're changing your wardrobe. You're changing the bed sheets, the quilt, the curtains, the pillows. But the mattress and the frame and the headboard and footboard are still the same. That's your structure. So your structure with this bed that you are building, you're redecorating. you're remodeling, you're leveling up. So a contractor comes in and I have 2 bathrooms and I want to create one big, huge bathroom because I don't need to have 2 bathrooms anymore. So he comes in and he's got 2 toilets, 2 sinks, a tub, and a shower. And I want this, and a closet, because my 1 bathroom has a closet in it. I want this big, huge jacuzzi tub in my bathroom. But where the tub is, we can't keep the toilet. We have to move it and get rid of it because it's not going to fit. It's not wide enough. So now we take out the sink and the toilet and we put this jacuzzi tub in there and we close off the door and we put the toilet where the door would normally open because we're coming in from the other side. Where the closet is, we put this big, beautiful double sink. Where's the new closet? So the contractor comes in and he starts playing with the stuff and the way that we want it to be. So he keeps a wall that separates the tub and the toilet from the sink and the closet. So somebody can come in and still brush their teeth or shave or comb their hair, change their clothes, but I can be in the bathtub and have complete privacy. That's 2 different ways to rearrange that small space. That's all we're doing with our stories. We're rearranging our life. And then we are persisting in the assumption until it hardens into fact. Now, I've done a video where telling a lie can be good because an assumption, although it's false, if you persist, it will harden into fact. So when you start these new stories, you're not going to run to your best friend and say, Jared and I magically have the perfect relationship. Because your best friend is going to go, I don't think so. You're going to start quietly. And one of the things that I tell people is, what technique do you use? Do you script? Do you say thank you? Do you ask why questions? How questions? Do you do the 5x5 method, the 70x7 method? I don't change the natural way you consciously create your life. I just tap in to what you're doing, tweak it, like I just remodeled the bedroom and the bathroom, and I give you a new way to look at things to be able to bring that into your new reality. So when you are consciously creating a new story, it's not a Harlequin romance. It's not the balcony scene in Paris. It's putting it out there to the person you love. And all of us who love somebody, we have a picture of them. And most of us will print out that picture and put it on our bedside table. And then we have conversations with them. So I have a picture of Jared sitting on the side of my bed. And I'm sitting on the side of my bed, and instead of doing my prayers, I'm having a conversation with Jared, and I'm telling him all about my day. And because he's not really there, if I had a frustrating day or I needed to work out something that I had discussed with the client, I can be open and I can talk to him about that. That's not what you want to do. You want to look at their picture and tell them, thank you for showing up for me. I really appreciate the way that you text me, call me, and show up for me in my life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing me that you appreciate me and respect me. You are looking at their picture and you are saying, thank you for marrying me. Thank you for being the most amazing boyfriend. Thank you for being the most amazing girlfriend. If you have a picture of your kids and you see your picture of your kids and you walk by the picture of the kids, same thing works here. You want to recreate your kids to be mini neat freaks. You walk by their picture and you're like, thank God they're neat freaks. Oh my God, I am so happy they are neat freaks. You're saying it to yourself. You're saying it out loud to yourself. You're saying it in your head to yourself. You're not necessarily being the blabbermouth Susie, as I've been called, and running to your best friend and saying, oh my God, all of a sudden Jared and I have the perfect relationship. You don't have to tell anybody what you're doing. But you can't tell your best friend Jared's a dick anymore. He's ghosting you. You're in no contact. You're blocked. Because those mini stories will keep biting you in the butt. You have to start looking at the relationship and you have to find ways to praise it. Now, I tell everybody all the time, say it to their face. Why do we have the perfect relationship? Why are you showing up for me and spoiling me? Why are you always doing nice things for me? Why do you always call me? Why do you always text me? Why do you want to be in a fully committed relationship with me? I have people who ask that question boldly to their specific person. Sometimes they get the answers they like. Sometimes they don't. What is the number one reason a lot of people want to be in a fully committed relationship? So that they can post it on social media. They can shout it to the world. I'm in a relationship with this person, because if Facebook says it or Instagram says it or Twitter or Pinterest, we know it's got to be true. So when you are talking about your relationship, don't be telling those mini stories about what you don't want. Start saying to yourself, to their picture, out loud, and if you can, to their face. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for texting me. One of the nicest things that I do, I can have a text date. And a lot of people are going to disagree with this. Your guy is working, but he's still taking the time to text you while he's at work. You're awake, you should be asleep. You've texted back and forth for 4 hours. He says, okay, I gotta go. I am gonna go eat lunch and then I have to go do stuff for work. You say, okay, enjoy your lunch. I'll talk to you later. A couple hours later, you're still awake and you can't sleep. So you text them. Thank you for the wonderful evening. And you get back, ? It was a text date. They paid attention to you. You thanked them for that. You're going to get more texts. You get a phone call from them and you tell them, thank you for calling me. Hearing your voice meant the world to me today. I really appreciate it. They may call you more. You got to look at all of the things that you are saying. Every one of these affirmations that you guys go on a rampage and say is counteracting the mini story that you don't want to tell. But you actually haven't changed the story. You're just going, he's obsessed. He's obsessed. I'm the only woman in his life. I am a priority. He's texting me constantly. He's calling me constantly. But you didn't change the story to thank you for showing up for me in the perfect way. And the perfect way is because you are present, you are aware, you are loyal, you are supportive, you are emotionally available, you are physically in my presence. Everything is a mini story that you legit condense down to 30 seconds. And you are telling this 30-second story over and over and over and over again. So the more you focus on gratitude, questions, and persisting in an assumption until it hardens into fact, changing your story is the simplest thing in the world. It's not creating the 2,000-word novel. It's not creating the perfect story. It is not a single scene. It is thousands and thousands and thousands of little things that go on in your life every single day. Pay attention to what you praise and what you degrade. And you will notice that the more you open your mouth, your life is a reflection of the words that you are speaking out loud. I know this is a super long video, and I know that I gave you a lot of information in here on specific ways that you change your story. And this is what I do with a lot of my coaching clients. We are not creating a novel. But when you are a writer or a singer, you are looking for the perfect song or the perfect story. You can write. But remember, the song is a memory. The book is a memory. And you're not writing one perfect song or book. You are writing thousands of them. And when you look at it that way, this drastically changes your life for the better because you are focusing on how amazing your life is and how amazing it is going to be. You guys have an absolutely positively amazing day. I love you. And as always, leave me a comment and let me know how I'm drastically changing your life for the better.